Hey everyone, thank you so much for joining me once again on this shortened version of Solutions with Anna Donahue. If you've not yet looked at the other shows, go back to my YouTube channel. Just type in my name or type in Anna Donahue Ministries and you'll find us. But you're going to want to get these reasons why that children of Israel, next generation with Joshua and Caleb, though they were permitted to go into the promised land, the Bible says many did not receive all that God wanted them to have. It was theirs, but they didn't appropriate and utilize it and enjoy it. You've got to go back and get those shows. They're not long. I'm going to finish today, even though I had a few more. Some of them overlap. Locals, you will get this in its entirety. February 4th in Metairie, February the 11th on what we call over here the North Shore Cultivation Church, Metairie Victory Church. Go to the website or go to my social media pages and find those addresses and times. This stuff is very important. It applies to the believer today. Let's go through two more and then we will wrap. Two more reasons why they're in. What stopped them from enjoying all that God wanted them to have? See if you can relate to these final two. This one was interesting to me. In fact, my husband, who has a military background, I said, explain reconnaissance to me. Here's what it is. You're going to say, that's a reason why they didn't enjoy it. Now watch. Reconnaissance, a preliminary survey to gain information. It's a strategy. Joshua 2, 1 through 24. Now listen up. Joshua was a prudent military leader. As Jericho, guarding as it did the passage, the passway, the go-to into the interior, he sent 2 spies to make the preliminary examination. This is very good. Go look over the land, he said. His purpose, now watch, in sending them was not to determine whether to attack, but how. Reconnaissance, a strategy. Sometimes I find that when we're walking by faith and not by sight, we think we don't have to do anything. And I understand that. I understand, well, if you're in God, you rest, all the above. But James also says faith without works, the accompanying action, is not faith at all. It could be presumption. Point being, get a strategy from God. You feel that there's something you're missing out on in the promised land of Christ, all who Christ is, and all he is in you, on you, through you, and all you are in him, but something's not connecting dots, get a strategy. I'm telling you, God will give one. This is proof positive right here. Look at this. The 2 spies crossed the Jordan. They slipped into Jericho. That fortress of Jericho had its own security system. So Joshua has marching orders. Yes, sir, I'm going in. But wisdom said, let's go in and spy the land. That wasn't a lack of faith. That's wisdom as a military man saying, wonder what we would do to get in there. The believer, too, is joined to engage in reconnaissance, to be alert to the strategy of the adversary and a plan that God would have. Be self-controlled and alert, 1 Peter 5:8. Your enemy, the devil, prowls like a roaring lion looking for someone to devour. We're not just being devil conscious. We're being smart. We're saying, as David did, Lord, shall I go up this route? I've always done it that way before. And God says, oh no, I'm taking you a different way. But David had to listen. Joshua had to listen. He said to David, when you hear the sound of the wind going through the mulberry trees, that's the direction I have for you. Yeah, the victory's yours. Yes. Get a strategy. You say, well, what? For Elijah, it was get on your face 7 times and don't stop until you see the cloud in the sky. I don't know what that'll be for you, but God does. Get a strategy. And finally, number 8. These I tell you. Laziness. This author calls it indolence, slothfulness. This can happen. You've been waiting, you've been tarrying for a long time, you get tired. Your only recourse is to go back to Christ. You may have to carve out time away from everyone just to refuel. In fact, Jesus did. So but another reason. Look at Joshua chapter 18, verse 3. How long will you wait before you begin to take possession of the land that the Lord your God, your father, has given you? Demanded Joshua. The context makes it clear the nation had gotten war weary. I've done that. And I've had to just press and go off by myself and say, God, you got to help me. Philippians 2:13. Both give me the will and the do. They had succumbed to slothfulness and indolence, which, if you look it up, is laziness. This author says they were reluctant to bestir themselves. It's a fancy word for stir yourself up. Didn't Paul say that too? Paul said, stir yourself up on your gifts, stir yourself up on your most holy faith, stir yourself up in God. One more line and I'll close. Comfort and influence are no friends of faith. These guys, these next generation, many of them, sacrificed future achievement on the altar of present enjoyment. There was much more, but they just kind of rested, kind of just chilled. There was so much more to do. Thus, they despised their inheritance and were content to live far below the level of their privilege. Oh, I don't want that to be you. I don't want that to be me. I will take these as well. I am in it right now, promised land living, and I'm stirring myself up. I want that for you.